Do we have any idea? I mean, since we're not technically using causal language, but you mentioned mechanistic functions here. Do we have any idea of why this is? Why it doesn't make sense directly in my brain that obesity would lead to cancer. Mm-hmm. Do we have any idea of why we think this is happening?
We can go a lot of different directions with this.
Yeah.
But the three that were highlighted in this paper, I think, are the most useful. So the first underlying mechanism that they proposed has to do with sex hormone metabolism.
Okay.
The second one is insulin and insulin-like growth factor signaling, which a lot of these things are mentioned by Dr. Peter Attia.
Always.
In that camp. The third one is the adipokine pathways or adipokine pathways. So instead of trying to parse each one of those out individually, let's just look at what's happening within obesity itself to try to make sense of this. Okay. So obesity is a clinical marker of insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. It's associated with multiple biological metabolic changes, such as hyperinsulinemia, an increase in free fatty acid levels and triglycerides, and also low HDL cholesterol. So hyperinsulinemia induces a decrease in insulin-like growth factor binding protein 1 and 2, reduces sex hormone binding globulin levels, resulting in an increase in free estrogen and androgen, and also insulin-like growth factor 1 levels.
Okay.
So we mentioned those at the outset. That's sort of how those pieces go awry. So the IGF system plays an important role in normal growth and development, as well in a variety of pathological situations, particularly tumorigenesis, the formation of these malignant cells and tumors. Obesity is associated with an increased incidence of cancers arising from tissues responsive to estrogenic stimulation, including endometrium, breast, and prostate. And so
that's coming straight out of the study, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So it's a lot there. I figured that they would do a much better job at trying to explain and kind of, expand upon some of those fairly difficult mechanisms.
Am I right in hearing in that the greater the adipose tissue, the more aggravated those systems become, which then increases the likelihood of more adipose tissue? That it's almost a closed loop, like the hyperinsulinemia and those things that they encourage more fat storage.
Yes, exactly,
and that which then would make the situation worse, which is part of why it's so difficult for so many folks to reverse course on this.